Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my player ratings from Manchester United's 2-0 win against Brighton at Old Trafford. So I'll start with David De Gea. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. De Gea made some good saves in the game, but his distribution was questionable. David De Gea has been sensational this season. He's now back to his best. Don't forget, he got named the Premier League's Player of the Month for January. He became the first goalkeeper to win the award in 6 years. He's won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. This season has been De Gea's 11th season at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and revert back to earlier on this season, De Gea did mention that he's planning to spend many more years at Manchester United. His contract at Manchester United expires next year. He receives £375,000 a week. He's the second highest earner at the club, behind Cristiano Ronaldo, and revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back, as he did decide to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks. Now moving on to Diego Dalot. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Another good performance by him. I thought defensively he was good. He got forward well, and he got in some very good positions. Diego Dalot has really impressed me under Rangnick. Dalot is our first choice right back under Rangnick. Do you think Dalot will leave Manchester United in the summer? Well, he has been subjected to transfer speculation before. His contract at Manchester United expires next year. Last season, he was on loan with AC Milan. Reflecting on that, he gained some experience. We got Dalot under the Jose Mourinho era. Manchester United got him from Porto. Man United paid £19 million for him. Moving on to Victor Lindelof, I'm also going to give him a 7 out of 10. Lindelof brought the ball out well from the back. Defensively, he was good, and he was very assertive on the ball. Lindelof came in for Raphael Varane. Raphael Varane pulled out in the warm-up. Varane had illness. It was the first game Lindelof had played in a while. Lindelof's been at Manchester United for over 4 years. Manchester United got Lindelof from Benfica back in 2017, got him for 31 million. Lindelof's under contract with Man United until 2024. Despite his good performance against Brighton, he's still not good enough to represent the club. I do have strong reservations about him. Moving on to Harry Maguire, I'm also going to give him a 7 out of 10. Harry Maguire looked solid. He also looked very good in possession. and I do recall him having a chance in the 81st minute of the game. Prior to the game against Brighton, Rangnick was protecting Harry Maguire. You know, Rangnick said that Maguire is our captain, and he has no reason to change that. Not so long ago, a lot of Manchester United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Harry Maguire. Got to say, you know, Harry Maguire is probably the worst ever signing Manchester United have made. You know, Manchester United did overpay for him. We got Maguire for 80 million. You know, he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. He's been at Manchester United over 2 years now, and he's endured a few injuries as well. Luke Shaw, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Was pretty good in the first half, but weren't too good in the second half. But in the last few games Luke Shaw's played in, he has improved. Let's be honest, Luke Shaw has endured a lot of poor games this season. He was far superior last season to how he has been this season. Luke Shaw's had a few injuries this season. He is injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw has been a long-serving player at Manchester United. He's been at Man United for around 8 years. And by the way, Luke Shaw did get a yellow card in the game yesterday against Brighton. Fred, he's going to get a 3 out of 10. I thought he was very, very poor. It was the first game Fred had played for a while, because obviously not so long ago Fred was out with COVID. Fred's not good enough to represent the club. We need to move him on in the summer. He's had his good games under Rangnick, but still not good enough. Man United got Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk a few years ago. Got him for £50 million. Scott McTominay, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. He also endured a poor game. McTominay's been poor in the last few games he's played in. And I mentioned earlier on this season that McTominay was one of the best performers under Rangnick, because McTominay has had his good games under Rangnick. Quite clearly, McTominay and Fred do not complement each other in our midfield. You know, Fred and McTominay have played a lot of games together in our midfield. But yeah, McTominay's not good enough. He has been part of the football club though for a long time. Revert back to 2020, he committed his future to the club because he signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United. By the way, I think McTominay did get a booking in the game yesterday against Brighton. Moving on to Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes scored Manchester United's second goal. The Fernandes goal came in the 97th minute of stoppage time. Fernandes should have had another goal because he missed an opportunity when he was one-on-one with the Brighton goalkeeper. You know, we started to get the best out of Fernandes when Brighton went down to 10 men. But before Lewis Dunk got sent off, you know, Bruno Fernandes wasn't really in the game. You know, Fernandes, though, has done well in his last few games. Starting to get the best out of him now. He has enjoyed a lot of poor games, this season. He was far superior last season to how he has been this season. Fernandes is one of our best players and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. You know, he's been a Manchester United player for 2 years now. Man United got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on this season, The Athletic did say that Bruno Fernandes rejected a contract offer from Man United. He said Bruno Fernandes' contract talks are postponed until the summer, having turned down an offer last year. It says Fernandes was demanding similar money to the top earners at the club. He receives 100 grand a week at the moment and he's under contract to Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. By the way, Fernandes got a yellow card in the game yesterday. Moving on to Anthony Elanga, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Elanga got fouled by Lewis Dunk, and then obviously reflecting on that, Lewis Dunk got sent off. Anthony Elanga has actually impressed me since he broke into our first team squad. Don't forget, Anthony Elanga missed a decisive penalty in the cup game against Middlesbrough, and reflecting on that, he got racially abused, and I totally disagreed with that. Elanga's been part of the football club for a long time. He did join Manchester United's academy at the age of 12. Now he's the age of 19. Revert back towards the end of last year, he committed his future to the club because he signed a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Moving on to Jadon Sancho, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Another impressive performance by him. You know, Jadon Sancho's becoming good now. In the game yesterday against Brighton, he missed a breakaway chance. But every time he had the ball, he looked very dangerous and he got in some good positions. Sancho also played well in the 1-1 draw against Southampton. Obviously he scored in that game. Sancho played well at Turf Moor against Burnley. He also played very well in the cup game against Middlesbrough. He scored in that game, and reflecting on that, that was his first Old Trafford goal and it was his FA Cup debut. There's other games as well I've seen him play well in. He played well in the game against Burnley at Old Trafford in the final game of last year, and he played well in the games against Chelsea and Villarreal away earlier on in the season because he scored in both of them games. But you know, Sancho still done nowhere near as well as a lot of United fans expected of him. Revert back to when we had Solskjaer, we couldn't get the best out of Sancho, because obviously there was quite a few games Sancho didn't play under Solskjaer, and when Solskjaer did play Sancho, he persistently played him out of position. Sancho did enjoy 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. Man United signed Sancho last summer for 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 73 million up front. There was add-ons included, and he's under contract with Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. And Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm going to give him 8 out of 10. Ronaldo scored an amazing goal. It was Ronaldo's first goal of 2022, and I'm delighted that he's ended his goal drought. Ronaldo should have had more than one goal in the game against Brighton, because he had some good headed chances. One of the headed chances produced a good save from the Brighton goalkeeper, and the other headed chance went wide, and that was an actual sitter that Ronaldo missed. Not so long ago, it said Ronaldo could quit Man United in the summer, halfway into his 2-year deal. You know, Ronaldo told his friends that he's starting to feel his age. Next month, Ronaldo is planning for showdown talks with his agent about his Manchester United future. Prior to this game as well, he said Cristiano Ronaldo and Ralph Rangnick's relationship at Man United is totally fractured. Around 4 weeks ago now, Ronaldo gave an interview, and in the interview he was very critical of the youngsters. So reflecting on that, he was demanding more from the youngsters, and also in the interview he was backing Ralph Rangnick to do a good job at Man United. You know, he said, "I'm not a Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said, "Finishing below 3rd is unacceptable." And earlier on this season, it said Man United consider swapping Cristiano Ronaldo for PSG boss Mauricio Pochettino. Ronaldo, of course, played in the 1-1 draw against Southampton. He had an early chance in that game. Went round the Southampton goalkeeper, but it was a good clearance from, was it Romain Perraud? And he had a goal disallowed against Southampton. So since Ronaldo's re-signed, he's scored 15 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt. And his contract at Manchester United expires next year. There's an option to extend Ronaldo's contract for a further year. Ronaldo receives nearly £500,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He has won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Man United brought substitutions on in the game. We saw Paul Pogba come on. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He made an impact when he came on. Paul Pogba got an assist. He also made some nice touches. Pogba's done really well since he come back from injury. So he did well when he came on yesterday against Brighton. Did well in the game against Southampton. He had a goal disallowed in that game for offside. He did well against Burnley at Turf Moor the other week. He scored in that game. That was his first goal of the season. And he did well on his return against Middlesbrough in the Cup. If you do remember rightly, Pogba won the penalty normal time in that game. Rashford came on in the game as well. I'll just give him a 6 out of 10. And Alex Telles came on. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. So that is your player ratings for Manchester United's 2-0 win against Brighton. It wasn't a good performance by Manchester United in the first half. You know, Man United got booed off at half time, but it was a very good performance by Manchester United in that second half. You know, Brighton had their chances in the game. One of the chances from Brighton hit the crossbar. But reflecting on the win against Brighton, it's moved Manchester United back into the top 4. Man United had some players out, but not many. Obviously, Cavani didn't play any part yesterday because Cavani is out with injury. He's out until early March. Cavani is expected to leave as a free agent in the summer. Cavani prefers a move to La Liga. Earlier on this season, Rangnick did say that he said Cavani wanted to stay at Man United until the end of the season. Cavani's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Man United got him on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Eric Bailly, he played no part yesterday. He's still injured, but Bailly doesn't really get in the team anyway. Chong, he's got an injury. Matic, he recently picked up a shin injury, so that's about it. You know, Manchester United beat Brighton at Old Trafford last season 2-1. Brighton, you know, are a good team. You know, they've enjoyed a very good season to their standards. Obviously, their manager is Graham Potter. He's been Brighton manager for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Brighton until 2025. Before Brighton, he managed Swansea, and before Swansea, Graham Potter managed Östersunds. I think Brighton were missing just 2 players yesterday. That was Jeremy Sarmiento, he's out with injury. And they were also missing Mwepu, he's out with injury. Let me put into the equation that Brighton have lost quite a few players. Don't forget last month they lost Daniel Byrne. He went to Newcastle from Brighton. They lost Ben White to Arsenal, but Brighton did receive £50 million for him. Dale Stephens left Brighton to go to Burnley. Can't remember when, but he did. They lost Matthew Ryan. Glenn Murray left them, but I can't remember when he left. And Aaron Connolly is out on loan at Middlesbrough from Brighton. Manchester United's next game is Leeds United. That is on Sunday the 20th of February. The preview for that game will be coming up on my next video. Ralph Rangnick, he wants the permanent Man United job. Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then he is expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Rangnick has been Manchester United's interim manager for almost 3 months now. He has managed 13 or 14 games now in all competitions. He's lost 2 games at the moment. He's only lost 1 game in the Premier League. There's been good performances under Rangnick. There's also been poor performances as well. But like I've said, Rangnick's totally blameless for the poor performances. You know, the players have had to take responsibility for those poor performances. Rangnick did not get backed in the January transfer window. That was unfortunate. He actually got promised as well that he was going to be backed in the January transfer window. Rangnick's enjoyed one transfer window as Man United's interim manager. We enjoyed a very disappointing January transfer window because last month Man United did not make any signings, and Rangnick, when he first came in, identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. Lingard and Henderson should have left last month, but Man United blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of last month. Around 8 players left Manchester United last month. I do have a lot of respect for Rangnick because he's a very good coach, and he's German, and the vast majority of German coaches are very good. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. And I've also got to give him credit as well because he's made changes since he's come in. Earlier on this season he recommended Ewan Sharping as an assistant coach and analyst, and he recommended Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he also recommended Saz Chalenzin as a sports psychologist. If Man United finish in the top 4 this season, I can not say it's been a successful season, because finishing in the top 4 you don't get any silverware. Man United need to win a trophy this season, and our only chances of a trophy now this season is the Champions League, and I'm very sceptical that we'll win that. So it's going to be another trophy this season for Man United. Man United have not won a trophy since 2017. That's 5 years ago, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. And Manchester United's next permanent manager will either be Erik ten Hag or Mauricio Pochettino. Or possibly Rangnick could get the job on a permanent basis. But he ain't considered to get the permanent role. Rangnick and Richard Arnold want Erik ten Hag to be Manchester United's next manager, and a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in. I think if Erik ten Hag became Man United's next manager, he would be capable of winning trophies. And I think if he came to the Premier League, he'd replicate what he's done at Ajax. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's developed the young players well. He's won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. So there you go, and he's been Ajax manager for over 4 years now. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. Ajax is the 4th club he's managing in his managerial career. Before Ajax he managed Utrecht, before then managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. Mauricio Pochettino, I recently give you some more news on him. It said that Mauricio Pochettino is open to joining Man United after falling out with PSG, with the summer arrival of Lionel Messi. The other week, Pochettino responded to Man United's interest, and Pochettino did insist that he's still 200% focused on PSG despite Manchester United's interest. Well, Man United players want Mauricio Pochettino as their next manager, despite Rangnick and Arnold wanting Erik ten Hag. Reports from France said earlier on this season that Pochettino could be sacked by March, and Pochettino's job could hinge on PSG getting to the next round of the Champions League. Well, PSG have just beaten Real Madrid 1-0 in the first leg of the last 16 of the Champions League. PSG are trying to get Zidane to replace Pochettino. Pochettino's contract expires next year at PSG. He's been in charge of them for over a year, and I think he's won a French Cup with them. Prior to the Southampton game, it said Manchester United had added Luis Enrique to their managerial shortlist. Man United looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. 4 permanent managers have been sacked since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired, and like I've mentioned so many times, no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. Ferguson, greatest manager of all time. Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a long-serving manager. In the summer, I'm expecting Manchester United to make some signings, but on the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So the players who I reckon will leave in the summer, so I think Henderson will leave, should have left last month but didn't. Henderson recently got arrested for abusing his girlfriend. Jones and Bailly will leave in the summer. Telles and Lindelof could leave. Matic will leave in the summer. Lingard will leave in the summer. Ronaldo's a good chance he'll quit as well. Cavani will leave as well in the summer, like I mentioned earlier. And Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka could also leave in the summer. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.